Hello, America. On off Tucker Carlson's college, Trinity College. There are people involved with confessions to me and the roles with Weathersfield police who wire crimes and switching names, falsified police reports with a whole bunch of different countries. There are Russians involved with them also on Harvard Hospital. And former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, his co-defendants, have also been with the names next to the campuses. People, leaderships, and kids of Afghanistan since the 90s. They are involved. There are people with the name Peruta who are Russian, who are involved with Weathersfield Police Chief's lawyers too. And WFSB has lawyers involved with World Trade Center predicate acts involved. So these are also a whole bunch of people involved with the name Cololo and previous neighbors of his, and someone they said was his roommate, who's also involved with people on all sides of Central Connecticut State University and the or three sides of it, well, all sides of places per method slash S, where and how overt criminal enterprise countries and is remotely. They have all kinds of rules. The Institute of Living was founded on the campus of Harvard Hospital, for example, in 1822, with slavery entrenched north and south. My tooth is about to fall out, also tied to this. So the intelligence community, various agencies have roles with the names involved. There is a name Aiello, planting evidences, fake motivations about what he thinks about shooting of guns and things, with people involved with child offenders, including leaders of the kids before they were proven. And as people involved with the agency's self-value using methods that were shown to by foreign bodies, for example, preemptively putting fake conversations with people in the databases, themselves, their kids, overt criminal enterprises, private ones, foreign and domestic intelligence at the same time, relative to where and to how. All these people have these questions that we're never allowed to have answered, even though we have the answers. We're not allowed to talk about it with ourselves, or someone jumps in. How they get away with that too is recorded tied to this. So there are people I don't know at all who trick you, involved with tricking you to a location and having people take pictures so they can pretend other. For example, all exceptions, exception nature that appear to be in demonstration of other and demonstration the same thing. Also goes how they are getting over on exceptions and exception nature, and where how nature holds this manifest for us to discern. And then they pretend it's personal too. They pretend it's an attack, as rules with sequence shifts. These are names on off the Ninth Circuit Court next to the World Trade Center who have roles with all sides with that. These are also people that force Saudis to collusion with them. All exception nature and demonstration the same thing slash S. But this was not our side's legitimate use. These since before they were born, our interbranch families, they were used their locations and the criminally foreign influence fact treatment quality aspects in nature while being tactically delusions raw as affected by the breaching method. The remote uses of that and of denials of it simultaneously too. Ugh. So they use description. Oh, well, if you say things that way, that's why it's important to use as evidence how they've been planting evidences. There's a Darth Vader. There's an intelligence. There's a police form on. There's police forms on off Trinity College who are involved with some child offenders, with my neighbors, and ones that used to live here, and they're switching names. They have inter-services. They have pilots, including the different kinds of pilots. They have people with the Air Force, or at least one, more than one per the nature of how Paul Kelly is involved and his neighbors. These are people involved with WTNH who wire mail crimes in police departments. FBI is right next to WTNH. They have fake emails with Weathersfield Police. People with the name Cololo. There's a Bob Chase with Whiting Forensics involved with UN. with drugs and medicines, crimes, while tactically delusions wrought, speaking about people's mental health. They're out of their mind, putting fake things in those databases as time collusions and then cover ups of it by putting fake behavior. This is behavior racketeering on a mass scale. So they have a whole bunch of reasons. We have our countries have intelligence analysts who are many ways more competent to speak for um, identity and to answer questions than leaders of governments. For example, relative to where and how the breaching method is signed before our founders were born, jobs A through Z. Identity as further hyper additional means simultaneously as just more collusions with what was juxtaposed with that, but not that. But it was using the negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures those things cause, like pretending people pretending they could have a nature of debate, leaving out the value of how the economies were forced or how that is exploited, even though it hasn't been proven yet. It's recorded. How they're covering up it is recorded too. So I don't know all their names, but their roles with shopping centers and with fire campuses and with peaceful, what they call peaceful, um, nuclear technology and the price of it, what they call cheap or expensive. They're charging. There's only 300 something streets in Hartford Hospital with names on off the campuses. Central Connecticut State University has roles with the people on Trinity College. The names next to them with the former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin. Roles with Los Solitos, even if legitimately for something, they have roles with names on all sides of criminal and civil cases, with falsified police reports, identity theft, fraud, slanders, planting fake motives, with other criminal enterprises too, and people next to body dumping spots. Brought and roles with untimely deaths. An untimely death on Trinity College is involved with people associated with wire crime acts and attached me to fake conversations with Weathersfield police when I was a kid and now as an adult. Has something to do with mayors who had conversations with my name from Weathersfield that are involved further too with the World Trade Center predicate acts names involved. Like WFSB attached me to fake conversations with themselves and with others about the World Trade Center attack. Attached me also to fake locations and what I caught them forcing child abusers, leaders of the kids. And they were planting evidences on and off the campuses with more people involved then and now. These including there were a whole bunch of people with the name Dylan and people who went to my schools I don't know at all. They made quick exception and they're exploiting that where they're planting evidences on all sides of my house and all sides of their house because they have people as victims slash hyper victims and stayed cowards where the police forms and courts have been planting evidences and intelligence has been spreading lies and rumors through the newspaper at the same time other roles same names overt criminal in other words when people from other classrooms put things fake there's three ways words class know how we're in the same class when you graduate oh we're in the same class even though there were people that went to your schools you didn't even go to classes with. They also attached people to fake whole transcripts. That's what a whole bunch of intelligence community with Hartford Hospital, like named Violet tied to them, named named Lombardo, named Leahy, putting fake things in databases with others. I don't know their names all yet, but they're involved with the Weathersfield Community Center, a whole bunch of foreign and domestic medical families, and people who put fake things in databases. One of the kids that they that they said they hypnotized. He went up there when they asked if people would go up to be hypnotized, and he ran off and he ran by me when I was coming in there. You know what I mean? Mike DeMaine, Mike DeMaine, and Adam DeMaine. They have roles with the mayors and the neighbors of the mayors and the family members of them, and people involved with uses of their spots next to their houses and next to other people's houses, where they had life progressions, with our being and having been used remotely, criminally, foreign influence, A Leahy family has been attaching me to fake conversations too, with some KKK themed, black themed intelligence families, foreign and domestic, with the name Kolvinskis also involved, with black themed and KKK themed next to Trinity College, with the ones on my street who have been planting evidences with them, wire crimes with Hartford Police, Weathersfield Police, Rock Hill Police families. These are people involved with Sandy Hook, with crimes with their patients and criminals before they got caught, and since keeping them to hide life progressions because of use of location slash S, like a serial killer's body dumping spot, a reported serial killer's body dumping spot, even if that was made up. And that person's too also involved with the judges and prosecutors and their family members. Timed collusions with overt criminal enterprises and private ones originally still. It's nothing personal. Then they say, oh, it's something personal. Well, they're faking things in databases. In other words, there's a whole bunch of different countries. Forgiveness is not because I'm not trying to blame them. I'm trying to speak about the acts. They're lying when we speak about acts. Now, these are behavior rackets. They have rules with all kinds of psychiatry with the UN and with world courts with their syntax, where they have roles with tactical delusions, roles with uses of mental diagnosis that our countries share. The ones fighting each other with nuclear bombs, their tactically delusions raw, involved with scams with medicine. There's only 350 streets in Hartford. They're stealing tens of thousands of dollars, in just a few days against single people. And then there's a whole bunch of people that are stealing like more money than the people of Hartford, Connecticut could fathom. Meanwhile, the suburbs were designed tactically denatured for the torture, for the extortion, and for the slavery of our founders, let alone of the people hurt most by that. And we have not addressed the extortion of George Washington honestly yet. See, the intelligence family makes people laugh and have like into natures where they and use people's names. That's all they have known because their identity. They have communicated other for our founders than they communicate to have communicated for themselves. There is a possession over the nature of the debate that is measured and maintained. When people say we and speak for wealth, those are people that don't care about. They're just going to go with what oh, we're European with multiple citizens. Plus, even if you want to debate that, the suburbs were designed before our founders were born, and and it only allowed negative value nature progressions, acts of natures, and demonstration of it nature. So it's tactically denatured. There are hardly any worms in the soil anymore. Keep mowing the lawns, taking away the stuff. It's a landscape theater. They could build better before our founders were even born. That's why. That's one of the reasons why the consciousness, honest, of Mr. Putin, Vladimir Putin from Russia, he was in a again in an interview with Tucker Carlson, who's an ex Fox News journalist who now has a I don't know his website name, but he also has YouTube channel and he posts videos on. I believe he posted the video for on Twitter too. I watched it on YouTube. I have to put a link to it. I can't remember if I did that. Oh my gosh. I'll do that immediately. So in other words, but the important thing is it doesn't matter because when it matters, I'm gonna put it there, but the courts have been fabricating transcripts with foreign and domestic medical families and with their own and with their sources and with the difference of that and their family members' involvements with it and their neighbors, including Fox Connecticut News, increasingly with names next to their building. And there's a Club Blue that turned into a Russian lady, and years before it was Russian lady. And the other clubs in Hartford, Connecticut, have roles with intelligence family that's families that are criminally foreign influenced, and in roles with the World Trade Center predicate acts leading up to it, and then as collusions with the names in the Manhattan context and in the Ninth Circuit Court next to it, right before the attack, as the ones also since involved with World Trade Center predicate acts, and also with the names on and off the news locations like WFSB, Fox Connecticut News. Increasingly, these are people at Hartford Hospital involved with identity theft, fraud, slanders. Other hospitals. There's a detective Samuda who's also one of the ones involved with state police forms and intelligence families from East Hartford, involved with the name Scalora too, with police switching, forging names, wire crimes, fabricating evidences, fake emails, fake conversations with the kids in the police station where no one's looking in the database is not even real. Fake ties to doctors with little kids. God help the ones who actually have ties to them. So they have doctors of psychiatry involved, still tactically delusions raw. And we have black pupils. We have whites of eyes. We could discern this. So they better clear their minds and fix the fake conversations with people and stop speaking and jump and then or what they call people names and stuff like that. For example, and they're making confessions. These are the same people who are pretending to be against confessions with the Washington D.C. involved with this. Washington D.C. increasingly has roles with names on off the Connecticut corrections offices as people involved with the houses next to Trinity College, with the also involved with fire departments and the houses and the leasing agent and people that work for leasing agents in the Britain. They have roles with judges and prosecutors and foreign domestic um, sexual circles per them, also as confirmations of roles with their neighbors' confessions regarding a Bobby. Use people involved with the name Bobby that are male and female. Involved also with Elm Streets and Weatherfield and Rocky Hill with the foreign and domestic military. People involved with putting fake things in databases at each campus I went to, who are also involved with families that are medical and putting fake ties. The behavior racketeering worse than war crimes. So we have serious things like nuclear weapons. So I was capable. I had to put counter theaters because of the impositions every year. Intercities, they've been planting evidences, pretending not to realize when they make time treatments. Oh, why didn't you say something? They're lying. Get them on. They're using wire and mail crime methods. These are people involved with the World Trade Center attack. Therefore, the rice in no, and the people that involved this since too. These are lawyers of the former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, is associated with the Robert Chevrolet, and the former director's co-defendants. The FBI director's co-defendants, Thaddeus Grabowski, is one of the names on our Fox Connecticut News, involved with child defenders and other natures of organized crime at the same time with them, as the ones involved further with as Weathersfield Police and other police forms mixed, like with ones with the name Mendez and Domain, right next to Fox Connecticut News, involved before a 2006 case, district court case in Connecticut, with names on all sides of cases, as the ones involved all sides of the Ninth Circuit Court case next to the World Trade Center, leading up to that context in sense. It was recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed. A whole bunch of people tied to a Dan King and his mother. I don't know if they have other relatives, their names, but their neighbors are also involved with relative body dumping spots and timed uses of it. And people involved with insidious identity theft, fraud, slanders, and a Robert Rodriguez and his roles with people all along Griswold Street and its conjunctions, planting evidences, and with child offenders and untimely deaths. There was an untimely death on the campus of Trinity College. Also involved with people with poisons threats and gun threats and knife threats, intercities connected, with the same names involved as punks with the Weathersfield Police. It's families that are with Newington Police families too. These are people from Hartford Hospital also brought up more names that you guys are going to be surprised. Yeah. So just follow mandated law and stop leaking things and hiding it. Don't hide the Czech Casper. And I don't know his father's and mother's names, and it's his daughter's name, his sister's name. I don't know who her maiden name is. I never had classes with them. They're increasingly involved with mayors and medical families and people that are interested into religious spots and military who have been planting evidences with the names near me. And then it's not personal too. They lie about that. That's how they hide their roles with criminally foreign influence, Follow mandated law for the World Trade Center too in New York. Please, Mayor of New York, please be a man for Connecticut and for the New York people that will tell you to lie and what's in the databases. Pretend, have them pretend they don't just they can't fathom it's in that it's all a bunch of fakes here and there. Fear. Who will disbelieve? Get them one name in sequence. They switch names and sequences while putting fake things in databases. All sides as roles. They've been using remotely the Weathersfield Community Center has something to do with names on all sides of it, with the same houses that have been planting evidences, fake ties, fake natures of ties to me. It has something to do with their roles all along Route 3, with and its conjunctions and conjunctions to that, like the state judicial branch offices and their roles with the spots next to the state corrections offices, increasingly involved with predicate acts with names on Covington Street in New Britain and next to Sign Street in Hartford, next to Trinity College, involved with as people that forced societies to collusion with them, also with names on every campus I went to, and next to them, Ty. Except for the first one, an exception there because the person next to it is one of the medical families involved with attaching kids and adults and to fake conversations with themselves and with others, everyone around them, and with their collusions with the same house slash S, and with names involved with relative home break-ins and police forms roles with that. They should not have hid what was actually recorded when Tony tomorrow called the police and confessed to them, and they pretended it other hid that from my parents and other people's parents while they were using the campuses to hide live progressions because they were using the intelligence families remotely. So please follow mandated law for them. And they're supposed to keep people. They keep people for forced mental evaluation for 30 days sometimes. And one of the reasons you're supposed to do it because you're not supposed to stop taking a pill because they make you take it. And then one of the reasons they make people sign a thing too. Otherwise, they tell you they're going to stab you, and they lie about that different ways. They have, in other words, so I can't even show you my tooth's about to fall. It's so crazy. I had nice teeth. It dries out your mouth. So these people have roles with all kinds. People say all pharma. It's all right. It's all right. You want to say something like make opinion, but get on paper because it's more finite and it's greater than that. And it's active relativity more than that. And they're tactically illusions wrought while they're using criminally foreign influence, factual nature, quality aspects of nature. CNN also did good reporting. They have rules with names on off all sides of Central Connecticut State University, like Paul Manafort Drive, through administrations with the people involved, intercities, as the ones on my street involved every campus I went to and with names next to them. The news has been WTNH has roles at corners of streets and next to schools, with people at the corners on Church Street and Old Weathersfield involved with predicate acts with overt criminal enterprises and private ones, the same ones involved with home break-ins relative, I noted, and former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, involved with themselves, and with his co-defendants and their family members. And their teachers, no. Here, and they have roles with CCSU too, and Trinity College, the same ones involved with the confessions and demonstrations. The roles with sequence shifts, planting stuff with a Joshua Stryker also involved, and the Joshua Julian is one of the ones with some KKK Confederate flag themed and black themed military and other intelligence families involved with the principal child offender further and with predicate acts on my street within it with his confessions even confessed and recorded on Facebook. The intelligence community has been replacing what's recorded on Facebook fear. They've been planting evidences too with the court's family members and intimate ties involved too. With the child defenders further with obscure pictures on off the little kids' campuses and their roles with sustained predicate acts between the campuses, including private schools and public schools. Through time, increasingly people with the name Scalora have roles with Glastonbury families involved with identity theft, fraud, slanders, with people from Mexico and Venezuela, and people from Korea, Italy, involved with psychiatry, their extended family members at corners of streets planting evidences, having criminally foreign influence conversations with their teachers, roles with the spots next to the news media locations, the names on the state judicial branch offices and corrections offices, attaching little grammar school kids and middle school kids to fake ties to people involved with criminal enterprises, as to students and their family members involved with them, not legitimately. In other words, they're putting pay whole fake things in databases. Here. So follow mandate law for them, please. Someone get Tucker Carlson too. Please, Tucker Carlson. These are people involved with all sides leading up to the World Trade Center tag in that context. Since know how Barack Obama, President slash Chief Obama, noted how China and Russia were here before our founders were even born. Note how in Russia and in China, the suburbs look the same. They were designed for the torture, extortion, and slavery of our founders, per science. And others communicated for James Madison and Mao Zedong, for example, per science. So it is time, pink branches bow and there to see. Can't spit much these claws or so.